Hello, hello. Hey, this is Johnny. I'm here with good friend Eric Mathis, and we're fresh out of the roundtable Monday. This was really great to kick off this initiative and see so many faces fired up about regenerative agriculture and making our food safe again. So, Eric, what are your reflections on the event and how it went?
One, I hated that my good friend Johnny couldn't join us. There was some scheduling conflicts. You uh, being that person, of course. But nonetheless, it went really well. I think that I learned a lot of lessons on how to structure future roundtables, where it isn't just people getting up, talking about themselves and what they do, but actually have genuine engagement. Like I am this, I've been doing this, which is very important for everybody to understand, but also kind of figuring out how to weave conversations in that. So I tried to pick up on that towards the end. So as everybody was going through on their interviews, I kind of bumped my interview and went back to kind of a Q&A with each one of the panelists because they're just such amazing folks. I wanted to hear why they were buying into the campaign, what really moved them, kind of unpacking their heart. But overall, I think being an inaugural launch, it's a touch point for us to begin building this movement for the National Victory Garden campaign. So,
Yeah, a lot of great talent there. And what are your hopes for the campaign a year from now? What do you hope that we'll see come to fruition, so to speak?
well, from an idealistic point of view, I hope hundreds of thousands of people across the United States commit to growing a regenerative garden in their backyards. And that's stupid simple commitment. Is there's a great video that we're going to have in our onboarding kit that describes 5 ways to make your garden regenerative. So it's a pretty very simple thing for people to plug into, especially people that are already gardening. Um, and outside of that idealistic vision, I hope people will commit to. So that's the first level. We call it the planter's commitment. The second commitment is the gardener commitment is people committing to growing what's called bionutrient food and committing to kind of a 4.0 model of regenerative gardening. And that involves getting a Next 7 garden kit that we put together specifically for this campaign. Just has like, minerals, foliar sprays, all the kind of stuff that some of the best regenerative farmers have kind of figured out what the formula is around that, such as John Kempf and Dan Keetridge and a lot of other folks. But if that happens, answering your question, Jonathan, specifically, is I think we're going to, I mean, like, I even went through this process 4 years ago when I started growing using bionutrient foods process. When I grew, I've been growing basil forever, but when I grew basil after adding these foliar sprays and these trace minerals to the soil, I've never smelt anything that intense before in my life. And even the chefs and I want to say some of the consumers, because I was one of the consumers, ate one of the pizzas that used some of our basil at a pizza house. Even the chefs were like, "Where in the world did you get that basil?" So I imagine, everybody's senses literally waking up across the country to this ancient way that we used to have a relationship with our food. I mean, not only do we smell food that's rotten for good reason when you smell the milk before you pour it into your cereal in the morning, but we're also equipped with the ability to smell the nutritional density of our food, which arguably none of us um, are in tune to anymore. So hopefully that tuning in happens with the king.
I love that. That's a great vision. You're exactly right. The food's not as delicious as it should be. So many of us have the anecdote of going to somewhere like Greece or Italy, and everything tasting so great, and the food here, You're exactly right. We don't have the nutrients that we should have, you know, it's, not nearly, what it used to be, and, you know, so many of us are, magnesium deficient, and this is a huge deal. We see so many pathologies,
Yep.
and yeah, you know, this is not just the food we're eating, but like you said, the soil, you know, these poisons that we're using are chelating these minerals and keeping our body from using them and having access to them and, and killing all that biology, right? So, you know, you
Mhm.
talk about these foliar sprays and you know, investing in that soil and in cultivating that life there. There's so much life. Just a teaspoon of soil, you know, so many microbes, more than all the stars in our galaxy. So it's really powerful and, yeah, we gotta get back to that, so,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm so
what's so amazing about that, I'm glad you brought up, the like how little we know about soil is almost symmetrically matched to how little we know about the cosmos. And we're kind of reaching this threshold point in human evolution and in relationship to the way our science has evolved and everything. To I don't think it's by accident that there is a strong correlation between the levels in which we are just now starting to understand the complexities of our soil, while simultaneously unveiling the complexities of the cosmos. I think we're being drawn into a very deep awakening. Um, yeah, so
Yeah, we gotta make our food safe again. I tell you what, it's just, it's unbelievable. You know, I like Dr. Zach Bush for, you know, really talking about the importance of, you know, regenerative agriculture and restoring our health, and yeah, he talks about how this, you know, we see that the same way that, you know, a lot of times, one of the big problems, the big pathologies we're seeing in our digestion is you know, our gut lining is it's we're seeing, you
mhm,
know, what they call leaky gut, and also the blood brain barrier similarly is affected. And you know, he talks about how, you know, we see this also, you know, in our society, right? That we don't have that cohesion, that we're not too we don't have this harmony that we should, and that we're distracted, we're divided, and we've really got to come together. You know, this is agriculture done responsibly, it ticks so many boxes, you know, just about all of them are the biggest ones, and another one of those is yeah, it naturally, you know, cultivates community for us. You know, we naturally come together for sharing with one another when we have a big harvest and pitching in the efforts there.
mhm,
So yeah, it's just so many reasons for everyone to get involved, and supply chain disruptions that we're seeing in different places around the world. You know, the more that we can have that resilience in our communities, you know, this is something that's really important. You know, we pay so much for car insurance, health insurance, you know, all these bills every month, and but when we're investing in agriculture done responsibly in our communities, you know, this is insurance against, you know, a lot of the different challenges, you know, we could see in the future. So yeah, just so many reasons for us to save the seeds and share them, and get things going the right way. So
yep, I
Eric, I know
agree
we
with
don't have a
you.
ton of time with you today. What else would you like to share before we have to run?
Yeah, what we're releasing here shortly is each one of our panelists. One thing that was exciting about the inaugural launch is that, as stated before, that was kind of a touching point. But each one of our panelists kind of represent a vast network of folks within the regenerative agriculture movement. And what we're hoping to do is activate that. So we're going to be releasing a piece here within hopefully the next week or so, that has podcasts similar to this, where you are going to be like walking through some of those panelists, um, getting their reflections on the roundtable, and specifically to walk through what I'm going to walk through with you right now is what I'm committing to the campaign. And we're going to be doing that with each one of the panelists, in terms of like everybody across the board is committed to the first level that we call, um, I'm scrolling down to find it right now, sorry, the planter commitment, which is stupid simple. You know, you just commit to 5 ways of regenerative gardening. We got a video that was made by some of Ryland's folks back in the day that we're using. And I think that's something that everybody can commit to. And then the other one is the gardener commitment. And pretty much every one of our panelists have committed to the first one. And potentially the second one is committing to grow into bionutrient food, awaken those senses, getting a bionutrient food kit and doing regenerative agriculture in your backyard. And also doing a really quick video of like, this is why I'm committing to it. My name is Eric Mathis. This is who I am. And this is why I'm passionate about it. And just flooding the internet and YouTube and everything with those great stories. And hopefully we'll have a platform for everybody's story to kind of land on. The other one is the level 3 is an agripreneur commitment. And it's basically just turning that dial up a little bit more, creating your own YouTube account, and then posting your story to the plate. So then taking out your phone and the moment when you plant your seeds and when you see the plant growing, when you harvest that food, when you take that food and prepare it with your friends, and you're telling a story, not letting the phone take over everything, mainly let the food kind of connect all of us, but you're telling that story of from soil to plate. That's kind of the agripreneur commitment. And along with that, we're asking that level to, just ask 5 of your other friends to commit to doing a garden. And then the 4th level, proactivist, is a lot more. It's basically like developing statewide or multi-statewide from those existing networks, potentially holding a community forum where they would play Kiss the Ground or Common Ground, where everybody starts talking about stuff, and then building from that event that is made up of hopefully committed friends and family who are going to grow a garden in their backyard. Just getting other folks to activate their networks across the state. And what we want to build into that is certain state to state competitions to where, North Carolina reached the first 500 planters, or Georgia reached the first 200 gardeners that committed to the gardener level. And then the final one, which is related to our action plan, which is a proven strategy for transitioning your bioregions to regenerative agriculture, is becoming a part of the We the Gardeners Co-op as a bona fide member of that, actively being a part of our broader open documentary project that takes the videos of you telling the story of the plate from soil to food and build it in really, really intentionally into an open documentary interactive platform that we're going to be developing. And we got videos to explain all that kind of stuff and everything. And committing to that, that's the farmer level. Predominantly people involved in that are already legitimate farmers, not just gardeners, but are actually like growing food. They're actively involved in the food supply chain somehow. So we're activating them to build what we call these food innovation districts or regions across the country that can basically rapidly change our food supply chain within 2 to 3 years. That's a long-winded way to answer your question, but then I wanted to run through my specific commitments, because your listeners are also going to hear from our panelists, them breaking down their commitment. So I just kind of wanted to be the first one to walk through that, so everybody will kind of know what to do when you jump on with other folks on future podcasts and videos. But I, of course, committed to being a planter, growing a garden, as well as bionutrient food. So that puts me in planter and garden. I'll be inviting many of my friends across Indiana and Kentucky. And particularly, I'm going to be reaching out to my friends with dream.org. That's Van Jones' organization, who I've been working with for quite some time to kind of get all about my liberal allies on board, who are already doing gardening and amazing work across the country. And my pro-activist level, is hopefully through that activating what's called the Green for All Fellows Network that I was a part of. There was over hundreds of fellows that were part of launching the Green Jobs movement years ago. So I'm hoping to activate that network along with the veteran network that I was involved with for the industrial hemp campaign. And then the last one, me being a farmer, is I'm located here at a friary or a monastery at Mount St. Francis, where I'm going to be working with a bunch of kids and farmers to grow bionutrient food and committing to developing that regional food innovation district model here in the Kentuckiana region. So, yep.
That's amazing. Eric, you're doing the good work. I tell you what, you know, I love the idea of this, all our favorite plants and animals, we can produce everything we need locally and solve these problems. Food purity, food security, and sovereignty. And yeah, and I really believe this is the best way we can love ourselves and our communities is by investing in this and helping get the word out like you're doing. So, I'm stoked to be a part of this effort and see so many people that are doing the same. There's a real awakening going on, and yeah, how beautiful it is. Feed the bunnies, water the flowers. We can plant paradise everywhere. So let's get back to it.
Absolutely. And hopefully, Johnny, I'll be doing the same thing with you here pretty soon. Once you've kind of outlined what your commitments are to the campaign, I would love to switch roles and kick back and let you talk about why you're passionate about it and what you've decided to do with the campaign. But thank you so
Yeah,
much for everything you
I'm
did.
trying to get over me being a little introverted. So getting in front of the camera here, this is a good way. I just gotta, I being in the garden, it's just I love it. I love it. And, I just don't take the time to really like kind of make the videos that I could and really share that enthusiasm. So that's something that I really want to focus on doing a lot. And yeah, more and more, I got a friend, he just got a couple cows. So I'm going to be learning a lot there, helping him out a little bit. And yeah, it's
Awesome.
so much to do. So, but
Awesome.
yeah, I look forward to that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Johnny.
All right, let's talk soon. Thanks, Eric.
Okay. Bye.